Hi, welcome to Life Skills with Louie. Today we are going to talk about the distract skills. If you have not watched the introduction video to this section, Connecting to Calm, I encourage you to do that. And if you haven't watched the introduction to the entire video series, I also think it's a good idea to do that because it gives an orientation to all the different sections and when to use different sections. So to dive into the distract skill, I learned this from dialectical behavioral therapy, DBT. If you want to dive more into it, search online for the distract skills and DBT, and you'll get lots of information about them. They are very helpful. So first, I'm just going to show what the skills are. So there's acronyms a lot of times in DBT, and acronyms are very helpful for restarting the mind when you're stressed. And so the acronym for the distract skills is ACCEPTS, ACCEPTS. Before I go through each of these, though, to say a little bit about distraction. Distraction is a double-edged sword. So it is useful at times, and then it can become a problem at times, as in an issue for you if you use it too much. Distraction is best used in really rough moments when you need to get through something and you need to get a break from whatever is going on inside in order to just get through the moment you're in without acting out or doing anything damaging or destructive to you or others. That is the great use of distraction. People overuse distraction in their lives. And the issue with that is that it pulls you away from your experience and ends up being neglectful of you and your emotions. And so it can, in the long run, cause more overall stress as you're kind of pulling your attention away from your emotions and what's happening in your life. So be on the lookout for over distraction. But I think these skills are helpful for both purposes so that you know how to use them in the moments you really need to. And then you also know what your mind might be doing and you can notice more. For myself, I've gained a lot more awareness of like, oh, wow, I'm really distracting myself here in a situation where it's not as advantageous to do that. So let's go through these. So the A is for activities. You can distract yourself with any activity that draws your attention away from whatever's going on inside that's stressing you out. There are a million options for this. Again, you can search online to see ideas from DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. There's tons of sheets and worksheets on this. So it could be going out and taking a walk. It could be watching a television show. It could be playing a game. Anything that it captures your attention. Because when you're really stressed out and trying to prevent yourself from doing something harmful, distracting yourself is a very good idea with an activity. The second letter, C, stands for contribution. So getting involved and contributing in some way can be a great distraction from what's going on personally that's too much to bear at the moment. Volunteering with some volunteer cause, being around other people in that way, noticing other people's suffering and helping to alleviate it can be a really healthy and helpful distraction. The second C, comparison, relates to this in the sense that sometimes it is helpful to compare yourself to something. The caveat with this is that if when you start to compare yourself, you feel more guilty and upset, like it's making you more upset, then this is not the time to use that skill. What might you compare yourself to? You could compare yourself to um, uh, people that are less fortunate, which might bring up a feeling of gratitude for you. Like, gosh, even though I'm struggling, I do have a lot going for me. You could compare yourself to yourself from the past or in a more difficult time in your life. Well, this is hard, but God, I went through that and I got through it. You can make whatever comparison helps you to put your situation in perspective. So that's comparison. The fourth letter, E, stands for distracting yourself with emotions, namely different emotions. So if you are feeling a certain emotion and it's really stressing you out. Let's say you're feeling a lot of fear. Something's happened in your life and you're feeling a lot of fear. If you consciously uh, coax into existence a different emotion, then it can help you to get through, sort of move your attention elsewhere. And a good way to explain this is watching some kind of a show. So let's say you're feeling a lot of fear and you watch kind of a romantic, maybe a little sad show, and you feel some romance, you feel some love, some sadness. That may shift you out of the fear a bit. Again, you don't want to do this forever. You do have to deal with life and what's coming up. But if you're feeling a lot of distress, some distraction can be helpful. You could do it with any emotion. Let's say you're feeling a lot of anger, you could watch something humorous. Let's say you're feeling a lot of sadness, you could watch something scary. And as long as it helps you to come out of that emotion and doesn't increase your distress, it can be helpful. The P of accept stands for pushing away. You can consciously push away thoughts that are bothersome to you, and and this can be a really helpful thing to do in the short term. So if you keep thinking about something that's stressing you out, you can actually say to yourself, "No, go away for now," and push away the thought. You could imagine a wall that all those thoughts are behind. And you could be very creative with it. Someone that I've taught really likes to just say stop, and imagines a stop sign, and that really works. Great. Whatever works to push away those thoughts that keep recurring that are causing issues can be helpful. Related to that, the T of accept stands for thoughts. Using thoughts to distract you, to take your attention. So you can do things like counting, or saying a mantra to yourself, which mantra stands for mind protection, or one definition of it is mind protection. So you can say something like, "I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay," or um, you know, count. To bring your attention out of the distress that you're in the moment. And if it works, and if it helps you to get through a difficult situation, then it was useful. And finally, sensations, different sensations. So if you're finding yourself really overwhelmed with emotion and you find another sensation, let's say you squeeze a ball, or you hold a stone in your hand, or you either smell or taste a lemon or a lime that has a really sour, tart taste to it, that distracts you from your inner experience that's too much at that moment, that can be very effective. So to summarize, these set of skills are excellent to look into and see if there are some key ones you can have when you need it in a pinch, to draw your attention away effectively from too much distress. And that's the only time you really want to draw your attention away from your experience, is if you're at a skills breakdown point, which I talk about in the introduction to this section. So there's, you can use it. Distract with activities, contribution, comparison, different emotions, pushing away, thoughts that distract you, and sensations. And there's a lot online about this that you can explore. And I encourage you to do so. Thanks.